Just realized my mic was off. Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. All right, so little hiccup. I'm not gonna restart the stream. But today, Saturday morning, beautiful Saturday morning, we have Bitcoin leading the crypto recovery. Bitcoin is above 48,000 once again. Solana, Cosmos, and other great altcoins are exploding. So this is what we want to see, a nice, beautiful, sunny Saturday with altcoins and Bitcoin on the way up. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The weekends, a little iffy. So that's why you want to hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, articles, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. I see a lot of you guys are joining because I do have a new join button on my channel now. So those of you guys that are joining, you want to be a George, you want to get priority access to Q&A, well, it's available for you, and I appreciate those of you guys that are joining and those of you guys that just continue to watch me and subscribe to me. So I really do appreciate it. So just want to start out with that. All right, what else is there? Let's look at Bitcoin, 48.2. So obviously much better than previous days. I shouldn't say much better, but obviously coming back up 48.2. This broke the recent, it was actually 48.8. So it broke the recent high, very recent high. And can Bitcoin head to 49, 50,000 today, tomorrow, next week? Yeah, that's what we want. We want to see that, right? We had a brief stint above 50,000 recently. Hit as high as what, 52.9, 50, almost 53. That's what we want to see. Slowly and surely, Bitcoin is gaining more strength, getting a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. After we break 50,000 and we continue forward, well, that's when 60,000 and beyond is around the corner. So Bitcoin is leading the recovery today. But in addition, I mentioned about Solana coming back up above 160, right? Those of you guys that were waiting, it's interesting with something like Solana, when it's pumping up to the moon forever, and it seems like it never goes down. Everyone wants to get into it. Like they want to FOMO in at top. But last few days, last week when Solana, finally took that breather, it got down as low as like 130s. It seemed like no one was buying it. Everyone was like, uh-oh, is Solana in trouble? And now it's coming back up. Like this is the psychology of most traders, or most newbies, I should say. They want to buy at top while things are going up. They never want to buy when things are down, and that's what you're supposed to do, buy the dips, right? So for those of you guys that did pick up some Solana in the 130s, great. If you picked it up beforehand, below 100, below 50, below 40, congratulations. But, today you also have something like Cosmos going up in a big way. I told you guys before, don't sleep on Cosmos, right? It's one of the most undervalued blockchains out there. I honestly think that they have a vast ecosystem, and I told you guys that it's just a matter of time to catch up, right? But it's not just them. There's so many other ones out there. Of course, Polygon has not been moving recently. VET has not been moving recently, but they're going to get their turn. They're fantastic projects. So today overall, pretty good day. Man, I'm seeing a lot of members, a lot of members joining. I appreciate that, guys. Really do. All right. So let's get started. Some Bitcoin news. Today, to be honest, it's a pretty slow day. There's not a whole lot of news to talk about, but I'll bring up a few. Fidelity recently, they published a 2021 Institutional Investor Digital Asset Study. Fidelity is one of the biggest institutional asset managers out there, okay, with over $5 trillion worth of assets under their belt, and they are a big Bitcoin bull. They own a lot of stock in Bitcoin mining companies. They also offer custodian service, and I do believe they have a trading desk that offers crypto trading as well for institutions. So this kind of survey holds more weight than some random person doing it on Twitter, okay? So they're polling institutional investors that they have a connection with, and 52%, more than 50%, said they have exposure in cryptocurrency. More than 50%. So think about that. Think about it. That's a lot. That's a lot. Now, this is one of the reasons why I think Bitcoin may not follow the traditional 4-year cycle, right? If a blow off top happens by the end of this year, within the next 3 months, that's great. But we could have another scenario where we don't have a blow off top. We still have up and downs, but Bitcoin gradually just keeps going up and up and up and up and carries into 2022 and keeps going. And the reason being is headlines like this, is polls like this. Institutional investors that already have exposure to Bitcoin and crypto, I mean, is there any reason for them to sell? Right? They're buying and they keep buying. This is why Bitcoin reserves on exchanges is dropping, like a rock in the ocean. And these guys just keep buying more and more and more. And these guys are the ones that are not really traders. They buy because they want to hold Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation, or they're buying just to hold long term to replace their gold reserves, or they're buying because they want to see some gains too. But whatever the reason, they're buying and holding. Most of the time, they're not just going to say, okay, we're buying for the next 3 months and we're going to sell off. That's usually not how it works for these guys, right? So when you have a lot of these big players buying, are they really going to be selling? And if they're not selling at the end of the year, then there's no reason for Bitcoin to come down, right? Previous cycles were all led by retail investors. Yes, whale activity FOMO drove things really high. We have a blow off top and comes down. But right now, we don't even have that FOMO yet. We're nowhere close to it. And we do have whale activity, obviously, but we have a whole bunch of institutions, big boys, public trade companies, hedge funds, family offices. They're all just buying and holding, and they're doing it for a long haul. So it could be one of the reasons why this 4-year cycle could be the last 4-year cycle, and moving forward, we just see so slow and steady gain, and it just keeps going and going and going. All right, what else is there? Let's see. Well, this makes sense. I just got done talking about gold. Monthly buy Bitcoin searches online hit 241,000, 3 times more than buy gold. I'm wondering. I'm curious who is actually going on Google to search how to buy gold. Like, maybe I'm just not in that crowd, but I just don't see anyone searching buy gold. I just don't see it. Buy Bitcoin, I could see all day long. People want to know how to buy Bitcoin. They want to search up exchanges or financial apps that they could use to buy Bitcoin, right? I just don't see anyone searching how to buy gold. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know about you guys, whether or not you guys are searching how to buy gold, but I think this is pretty obvious. All right, that's it for Bitcoin news. I saw this. This is pretty good for Ethereum and Solana. So there's a project called Wormhole. So today they opened up their bridge, starting with Ethereum and Solana. So this bridge, what it does is move ERC20 tokens back and forth between Solana's ecosystem and, of course, Ethereum's ecosystem. So this will be great. Traditionally, this kind of stuff is great for DEXs. Like right now, DEXs, AMMs, decentralized exchanges on these chains, they're limited to the standard of that chain. So if you have a Solana DEX or Ethereum DEX, you're only trading tokens from that chain, like ERC20 tokens or Solana tokens. But with a bridge, right now you can trade both. So you can move things over left and right. You can have synthetic versions of ERC20 tokens too. So for example, you can have a synthetic version of Ethereum, right? It could be dubbed, I don't know what the standard is on Solana. It could be like ETH.S or something like that. That could be traded on Solana, and vice versa. You can have Sol.E on Ethereum, right? You can have synthetic versions of tokens, and you could just do direct trades too. So these bridges, they serve a function, and there's more and more and more of them being built. And the more that exists, the better it is for the entire ecosystem, right? So this is pretty good. Also, what's going on? I saw this, the Cardano Summit 2021. I don't know. Maybe I'm, misremembering. I thought the summit was already. I thought it already happened for 2021, but maybe the summit for 2020. But the Cardano Summit is coming 1 week from now. Okay. Now Cardano is one of those altcoins that has been really stagnant recently too. You can see it's down 13% for the week and barely up 6% for the last 30 days. So can this be a spark and jumpstart Cardano back its way up to $3? Maybe during this conference, maybe they're going to announce, I don't know, ADAX or Ergo or Sunday Swap. Maybe one of these guys will come out with some really cool decks that actually works with smart contracts and can actually be used, and you could actually trade tokens, right? Right now, we know that they're talking about it, but we haven't seen it in action on the mainnet yet. And if we do see that, it could be a huge spark for ADA, right? I think that's what everyone's waiting for right now. It's like people are kind of antsy, like, hey, is any team going to figure it out? Supposedly, these teams have figured it out. They posted blog articles about how they're going to get around the concurrency issue or how they're going to program so that they can handle it. But we haven't seen one come out yet, right? So let's see. Let's see what happens. This could be a big thing, and it's coming next week. Now, lastly, I was trying to look at what is making Cosmos go up today. Wow, Ernest. Man, that's a big one. And by the way, I see a lot of you guys joining. I really do appreciate it. And, and I see a lot of you guys get your badges, your green badges. They're going to turn to different colors the longer you stay with me. You could think of them as NFTs, but not really. Anyways, Cosmos, I was wondering what's going on with Cosmos. I mean, I've created so many videos about Cosmos, and I think the big thing that's driving things up right now is there's this new conference that's coming up in a few days, and I saw this. It's called Mainnet. It's just called Mainnet. It's New York. It's hosted in person and virtually by Mazzari, right? And there's going to be a whole lot of, with these conferences, you have a lot of crypto leaders, a lot of builders, investors. There's just a whole lot of stuff, right? Had I known this earlier, maybe I would have, tried to attend. I didn't know. I still may attend virtually, but it does seem like Cosmos is a part of it because they've tweeted this out within their Twitter. I don't know if this is the reason why they're going up today. I think ultimately it just there's other things that I'm not aware of, but this may be one of the driving points. Just like Cardano have their own summit, others are spreading the word through these kind of summits or conferences, I should say. All right, I think that's pretty much it for today. There's not a whole lot. But I did have some announcements for CRU, for CryptosRUs. Well, the first one you guys already know about, which is the new membership on Patreon, not Patreon, on YouTube. It does not replace my Patreon membership, but there will be some exclusive stuff for YouTube as well. And also, besides that, I have a brand new merchandise store, right? So I did have one before. It was okay on Teespring. I moved it to Spreadshop, and it will be listed on YouTube soon. But in case you guys want to check it out, it's also linkable on CryptosRUs.com. Got some really nice T-shirts now. Okay, you got really nice T-shirts for a lot of projects, and of course for Bitcoin, and of course for CRU. So those of you guys that are looking for some merchandise, apparel, cups, mugs, hoodies, sweaters, even baby stuff, backpacks, stickers, right? Pretty much everywhere. Hey, and I'm not soloing anyone out. I even have Shiba gear for those of you guys that are Shiba fans, right? So don't say that I hate Shiba. There's Doge, of course Bitcoin, That's a really popular one. It's time for a change, right? And then CryptosRUs. Look at this one. I used to look like this, except I wasn't white. But I used to be this buff. just to throw that out there. Off the blockchain gear, so you guys could check it out. It's in the description and on the website. You can link to it. Also, I decided to spin up my TikTok page again. Now, TikTok had some controversy because they said they were going Litecoin. I'll get Litecoin on there, okay? I'll get Litecoin, and I'm going to get Charlie on there too. For those of you guys that are Litecoin fans. What is it? I started out my TikTok page again. I had some videos on here. I gave up on it because TikTok was saying they're going to ban crypto, stuff. But they really didn't. I think they were going after, like, crypto advertisements, but other people that are still doing crypto stuff is doing well. So I'm gonna grow this. I posted this on YouTube yesterday. So you guys, those of you guys that are on TikTok already, follow me. These are short segments. So those of you guys that follow me on Instagram, you're used to these, like, short segments. A lot of you guys complain, oh, your streams are too long. They're 2 hours. I can't watch them all, right? So if you want bite-sized segments, you'll see it on TikTok, and you'll also see it on Instagram. So follow me there on both. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Lastly, I do have a new sponsor for today. It's a promising blockchain that I know a lot of you guys like. They are Telos. Okay, I've been hearing a lot about Telos, people asking about Telos, right? So, here we go. So what is Telos? It's a fast, scalable, decentralized finance ecosystem plus blockchain, and it's among many that is out there that's trying to innovate with decentralized finance, with DeFi, with NFT marketplace, with a whole lot of things, right? But they are, of course, very fast, very scalable. That's why they exist. Telos, if you look at, they have a nifty chart here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. They can handle right now 10,000 transactions per second. 10,000, that is way faster than Ethereum, way faster than Matic, and even faster than Cardano at this point in time, although Cardano may be scaled with Hydra and sidechains. But that is what Telos is all about. They actually came out in 2018. They've been around for quite some time. And I was actually surprised when I looked at how many dApps are already on board. There's hundreds of dApps that's already on board. So there's wallet makers, there's DeFi, of course, payment providers, exchanges, developers. They have been around for quite some time. Games, right? So they have a vast ecosystem already. Now, Telos also made a name for themselves recently. You know why? Because they were the ones that discovered the security vulnerability inside Ethereum's virtual machine. So yes, so recently there's been some talk about, okay, Ethereum's virtual machine has a vulnerability, needs to be patched ASAP, which they did. But the company that found it was Telos, right? So they're very involved with EVM. So one of the things that they're very proud of is this, their Telos EVM, which means that dApp makers coming aboard Telos will be able to use a Ethereum virtual machine, right, the same way, except it's not the same way. First of all, it doesn't have the vulnerability, it's patched. Second of all, it's written from the ground up, which means there are many advantages. It is extremely fast and scalable and cost efficient. Yet, dApp makers don't have to relearn a new virtual machine. If you do go on a different chain and you're utilizing virtual machine and smart contracts of a different chain, it does work differently. New programming languages you have to worry about. With Telos EVM, you have all the advantages of being familiar with something that already exists and the advantages of it being able to scale without needing a whole lot of gas fees and worrying about congestion. So that is huge for Telos. Also, because they are a delegated proof of stake chain, they are, of course, they're very ESG friendly, meaning environmental, social, and governance, which we know a lot of FUD about Bitcoin with ESG, but Telos, of course, delegated proof of stake, very fast, very efficient. You don't have a whole lot of proof of work, mining and data crunching, right? So it is very different. Yeah, so that in a nutshell is what Telos is. They're just a promising new blockchain that is already used by hundreds of dApps, and they continue to gain traction right now, especially with network protocols being very popular right now. And they have, you know what? They have some partnership with some of the big names out there like Microsoft, Siemens, and Cisco. All right, so if you're interested, check them out. URL is in the description of this video. All right, guys, now let's do some Q&A. All right. Man, a lot of chat today, a lot of people becoming new Georges. I really do appreciate it. Bobo says, George, when it all pumps like you told it should, you will get more rewards. Well, we're all in this together, right? I do believe Bitcoin and cryptos will go much higher. We're right at the beginning, okay? Whether or not we have this blow-off top event or we just have a slow and steady event that just keeps going, right? One way or another, you know, things are going to go higher. Regardless of the FUD, regardless of whale games and manipulation, right? As long as we stay the course, we stay focused, we stay together, we support each other, and we continue to buy the dips and hodl, we're all going to attain financial freedom together, right? So that's ultimately what I want. What I want to do is get everyone to join me and achieve that as well. Claudio, appreciate it. What badge are you talking about? Those green badges. You can see people now have like a green badge right next to them, right? That in time will turn into different colors. It's based on time. Is Celsius in trouble? Someone asked. Well, you know, they're in the same position as all other lending projects, right? So Coinbase is having some uncertainty right now with SEC. BlockFi got hit with a couple of cease and desist from a couple states. Celsius is in that same game, right? It seems like there's a correlated effort to attack anything that's providing interest right now, because think about it. It's taking power away from the banks, right? The banks are the ones that's supposed to be providing interest, not crypto, right? So it seems like there is some scrutiny around it, but you know what? It's not all is lost. I think we'll get through it. There may be just, I don't know, it could be just discovery right now. You know, DeFi is getting so big, so red badge is only for OnlyFans access. CryptosRUs physical coin. That could be hard to create. That's gonna be hard to create. I'm thinking about it. All right. Scrolling down. Yeah, a t-shirt with their face on it would be cool. With I am George on the back. I was thinking about that. I thought TikTok was for dancing girls. Well, that's one of the main benefits, but there's a lot more information on there. Michael Saylor is for regulation. You know, unfortunately, I think that's one of the things. Michael Saylor, you know, he's a new Bitcoin Jesus, right? So he's done so much for Bitcoin community, but he's against altcoins because he feels like regulation is going to stomp them out, right? So I think some regulations are coming, but you know, most of the innovation right now is coming from altcoins, right? With DeFi especially. Not to say that Bitcoin can't handle DeFi, but it's going to take some time. But you know, having both, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But Michael does think that regulations could crush a lot of altcoins. That he does think some regulations could be good. And I kind of agree with that. I think some could be good, just not too much. You got to have that fine line, right? Kuzi asks, what's your opinion on Hedera's $5 billion allocation to ecosystem growth? You know, I talked about that the other day. I think that's pretty good. Hedera is promising. right? I think that, you know, if they have 5 billion allocated to dApp makers and drawing them in, that's fantastic. We have seen other projects do that recently, not in the billions, but like hundreds of millions, and it has served them very well. So if Hedera's go do 5 billion, then that's gonna be fantastic for them. A lot of people say Hydra. A lot of people love Hydra, waiting for that to happen. Uh, ETC. Coinbase needs to add Avalanche like yesterday. I mean, there's a lot. Coinbase needs to add a lot. I would say Avalanche is one of them. VeChain is another one, right? There's several big projects they have not added. But they've been adding a lot of small projects left and right. So I don't know how they decide how to add things, but yeah. Voyager, you know, someone brought up Voyager. Voyager does have both. Voyager has, I think, yeah, they have VeChain. I have some VeChain on Voyager, and also, I think Avalanche is on there. Someone mentioned about that. Rob Tower says, I joined because George has helped me immensely. Easily made 100K off his advice. Love you. Thank you, George. Thank you. Appreciate that. And you know what? I'm glad to hear that, right? I'm glad to hear. I think a lot of people... how do I put this? You know, a lot of people... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to phrase it, but there's a lot of newcomers in this space, right? They don't know who to watch, so I get it. And there's a lot of people that show a lot of stuff, says a lot of information. But you know what? I've been consistent in one thing, and one thing alone, and that is to stay the course, right, and to hodl. That's it, through thick and thin. And some people have called me out on it. You know, when things have gotten bad, I continue to say hodl, 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 right? It's the one thing that works. It's a time-tested strategy that works. So that's what I always advise. I'm always bullish. I always see things on a positive light, especially with crypto. But ultimately, I say, you know, advise hodl, right? And those of you guys that stuck with me since 2017 or even last year in 2020 when things were bad, right? I'm like, stay the course, right? If you have the ability, buy the dips or DCA, but hodl. And those of you guys have listened, have made tremendous amount of wealth or life-changing wealth, like I say, or financial freedom. I'm glad. So many people have done it, and I'm going to continue to do so and help more people attain it. So, all right. Why do people sleep on Algorand? What's their TPS? It's pretty high. You know, Algorand, I've covered it recently. They have been doing really well. Obviously, you know, without a lot of attention, they're still doing very well. But I do think a lot of people love them. And because Charles loves them too. Charles Hoskinson from Cardano, right? And they have been doing well. And they have a robust blockchain. I don't know specifics of how fast it could scale and stuff like that. But I know one thing. It's faster than Ethereum. So that's the main thing. And they also have a lot of promising DeFi stuff and coming on board. So I'll definitely make a point to study Algorand a little bit more, because that is one of the ones that I'm not too familiar with. It's kind of the same doing the Avalanche. I wasn't too familiar with it, learned a lot about it, and I realized it's a fantastic project. And it has been coming up, and it could be following the same footsteps as Solana right now. I mean, it just seems to keep going up and up and up and form new highs. IOTA, yes, IOTA, I think their new mainnet can really change the game. Okay, first of all, IOTA has been held back by the coordinator node all these years, right? They had their data marketplace in place, but now they have NFT marketplace that's coming out. But ultimately, what's really going to change the game is their new chain. Their new chain, which is still DAG based, but It's infinite. It could scale infinitely. It's feeless. But the most important thing is it's going to be without the coordinator node, and it's going to be truly decentralized. So when that happens, I think that's going to help them tremendously, and that's what they're working towards right now. If you had to buy one coin right now, what would it be? If you could only buy one, okay, it's easy. Just stick with Bitcoin. Bitcoin at this point still has a 3 to 4x potential by the end of this year. I believe. And you know what? It's still the biggest. It's what the market looks at. It carries the market, and you can't go wrong with Bitcoin. Marshawn, Dennis. Boost. Yeah, it's too small. Too small, Danny. Chip, appreciate it. What else is there? I hope XRP beats SEC. I do agree with that. I really want, it's not XRP, it's Ripple. I do want Ripple to win against SEC. Not because I really love XRP or Ripple, because I think SEC is starting to get to the point where they're overstepping. And they need to be shown, hey, these projects will stand up for themselves. They're not just going to be stomped on, right? Now, I do think SEC serves its purpose. They do go after a lot of scam projects and people involved, so that's great. But I hate to see them just trying to stomp on everyone, right? And that's why I do want to see Ripple win. So, Terry, appreciate that. Tron, please. You know what? Tron has also been doing well. I've told you guys, I don't like Tron. I don't like the direction of Tron. I don't know what they're doing with all the different projects they have purchased. However, what has been helping them is, of course, NFTs. They have their own NFT marketplace, and I've heard that, you know, some of these popular NFTs from other marketplaces have moved over to Tron too, and it has spurred up some buying. So, Tron, I think, will do well as the market moves up, but I love other network protocols much more than Tron. King Geo, I did. You just joined in late. That was one of my main topics right here. Cardano Summit 2021. You just missed it. Any advice regarding launch pads and which ones you would recommend? You know, I don't follow any launch pads. I mean, I don't invest in any launch pads because launch pads are just launch pads. They don't do really well. The projects that get launched do very well. So pay attention to those. Pay attention to projects that's coming out with IDOs and stuff. They're a lot more prosperous than launch pads themselves. Kryptonian. If we use a crypto card, do we pay for capital gains tax? Yes, you do. If you use crypto to pay for something, that's a taxable event, so you have to calculate that. So, unfortunately, that's the case. That's the rule. Miko man, appreciate it. Corey asks, how do I become a member? There's a big join sign right next to right below. So just hit that join button. DPG says, if I bought anything other than Litecoin, I'd probably be rich. I hate to laugh at that, but it's true. Litecoin has not moved at all. This is why so many people hate it. I hate it because of Charlie's antics from before, but ultimately why everyone hates Litecoin is because it's like, if you look at the charts, look at it versus Bitcoin, it has not moved at all. I made a mistake earlier this year. I'm like, you know what? Litecoin's starting to come back up. History has shown that Litecoin tends to move faster than Bitcoin in certain instances. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a gamble on Litecoin. And then it turned out to be the worst mistake ever. So I'm like, okay, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I'm just a fool. So Litecoin has not done anything, okay? Mimblewimble's still not here. They're not doing anything, and it's not a better store of value than Bitcoin. No one's using it for anything. So, yeah. But I will put Litecoin. I will put Litecoin apparel on my store, though. So, for those of you guys that still love Litecoin, you could buy some Litecoin apparel for me soon. So, I will do that for you guys. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I'll let you guys go. You know, overall, today's a pretty good day. Bitcoin has come up above 48,000. You know, weekends traditionally has been pretty good. Friday night, things started coming up a little bit. Today, coming up. Tomorrow, right? Can we see 49, 50,000 again? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We could see that in the near future, especially with low volume, right? And if, as Bitcoin climbs up, altcoins continue to come back up. Can we see Solana keep going, hit above 170 in the near future? I think that's a certainty. Can we see some of these other altcoins go up, like Avalanche continue to go up? Yes. Can we see, I like to see Terra go up. It's been pretty stagnant as late. I like to see also Cardano come up, which has been really stagnant late, but they will get their turn. Same thing with Binance Coin. They will get their turn. But in the meantime, enjoy your gains with Solana, Avalanche, Cosmos, right? And there's a lot more to be had. So stay strong, my friends. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right?